This is the second part of my recap on the Land of Miracles. In the last episode, an asteroid of demons and orcs attacked the continent. The members of the continent attempted to fight back by creating the 7 divine beads, but they failed to withstand the attack and the continent was split into 7 seas and 6 domains, and the 7 divine beads are missing. We then meet Hua, who is the chosen one for the magic domain, and he is a quiet and humble young man. Hua's godfather summons him and sends him on a mission to find the 7 divine beads. We then meet Lan, who is the chosen one for the blue domain, and he is an arrogant and loud young man. We see that Lan's father is simultaneously demanding him to go on the same mission, saying that the beads are the most legendary artifacts. On their journey to find the 7 divine beads, they run into each other and start launching attacks on one another. Neither of them can land a strong strike, and during their back and forth, the bear warrior of the sacred domain joins the fight and the bear warrior's sister joins him. Hua and Lan decide to escape together and focus on finding the beads, agreeing that they will fight when they find it. On their journey, they clearly don't like each other, but they manage to discover one of the 7 divine beads in another realm, and it's called the Peerless Bead. It causes their lives to combine and become one. They decide it's time for them to start fighting, and they quickly realize that they both feel each other's pain. Also realizing that they share pain, power and senses, they go separate ways and start slapping themselves so the other person feels pain. Hating the fact they share the same life despite being polar opposites, Hua goes back to the magic domain and tells his godfather about what happened. His godfather tells him that the Peerless Bead must be a curse, which may be cured by finding a catalyst. He assures Hua that everything will be okay. Simultaneously, Lan is back at the sacred domain and his father is concerned by how anxious he is, and asks if he got the Peerless Bead. Lan tells him that he found absolutely nothing, and this really confuses his father. Lan insists that his father leaves him alone and heads to meet the Grand Elder of the Blue Domain, believing that he would be able to help. He arrives and finds absolutely no one, and so he starts causing chaos to try get the Grand Elder's attention. He finds a mysterious purple liquid and starts drinking it over and over again. He is on the ground shouting, and Huan notices that Lan is drunk. Lan is arrogantly assuring him that the Grand Elder will help him break the curse. Hua is discouraged because even his godfather doesn't know what to do, but tells Lan that he will definitely find the cure before him. Hua continues minding his own business, and a little boy calling him brother gets his attention. His name is Yong, and he goes into Hua's embrace. They walk together and look around. Yong starts coughing and Hua puts him down. Yong tells Hua how he hopes to be well soon, and he starts coughing again. Hua tries to lift the mood and tells him that they'll fly a kite now. Yong gets excited and runs off in excitement, before his eyes go blurry and he faints. He takes Yong to a nurse, and the nurse tells him that he has 3 months left to live. Hua decides that he's going to buy the life-sustaining fruit, but the nurse insists that it will result in him becoming a slave. He sticks with his decision as he wants to give Yong a chance to live. Whilst he is walking the street, someone tells him that his godfather wants his attention urgently. Lan is still drinking, and the Grand Elder suddenly storms in and screams his name. He confronts Lan for stealing his water of life. Lan ignores him and tells him that he has been cursed. The Grand Elder checks if Lan still has his elemental powers, and he does. He says that Lan is a lying brat and throws him out of the house. Lan is then suddenly alerted that the queen needs him and there's an emergency, so he heads to help his mother. He meets her and she tells him that it's time to pick his wife for marriage. He analyzes the options and is clearly not interested. He tells her that none of the women have grabbed his attention because he has seen his mother's beauty ever since he was born, and she has set the bar very high. She is flattered and accepts that he has made a good point. He takes the opportunity to make a swift exit. He is talking to his father, and his father decides to set him on another mission, whispering the details into his ear. Simultaneously, Hua's godfather has decided that he's going to forget about the Peerless Bead problem and set Hua on another mission. There is a 3 domains tournament this year, and it only happens every 5 years. It's a fighting tournament held in the Holy City. Hua complies with his godfather's wishes. His godfather goes on to tell him that the winner of the tournament will receive a God tier artifact, and he thinks it may be an artifact that can remove the connection to the peerless bead. We then arrive at the holy city. It's a luxurious and a very lively city. A one-eyed monster is walking through and a carriage is being carried behind him. People start running to get out of the monster's way. A girl stumbles and the monster doesn't notice. Before she gets stomped on, a man jumps in and saves her. The man then tries to launch an attack on the monster, but Hua steps in and stops him. The man gets up and we realize that it was Lan, and they are stunned to see each other again. Hua tells him that disturbing the peace of the holy city would have only ended badly, as the city is ruled by the sacred domain and the monster is the leader. They then arrive at the tournament board, where they realize that the spirit releasing seal is the prize for the paired tournament and this artifact is able to break curses. Hua walks away in frustration. Lan goes and confronts him. He says that they must take the chance and enter the competition as a pair. Hua says it would be a good idea, but Lan's weak brain will lower their chances of winning. This infuriates Lan and he starts attacking Hua. They end up punching each other and a spiked ball gets caught between their hands. Hua tells Lan that he will join him if he gets all the bonus money, and Lan agrees. They go to apply for entry into the paired tournament. We see the bear warrior's sister looking at them. Her name is Sheng and she is wondering why they are entering together. Since they are meant to be enemies, they were accepted into the tournament and they are heading to find their tent. They find the tent and Hua decides to sit outside and practice his cultivation. Lan notices what Hua is doing and decides to be annoying. He starts speaking really loudly. He succeeds in disrupting Hua's cultivation, but Hua relaxes and starts eating food, knowing that Lan has no food and is hungry. We see the bear warrior and Sheng looking on from a distance, thinking about what could be going on with Hua and Lan. Lan is headed out into the city and is eating some food. Sheng arrives and sits beside him. She says that she is here to apologize for what happened when they were fighting to find the peerless bead, telling him that she will pay for his food and even gives him some wine. He orders more food instantly and requests the most expensive dish, and drinks the wine. She instantly jumps to saying how she is confused to why him and Hua are now pairing up for the doubles competition, since they were in competition for the peerless bead. He lets it slip and says it's all because of that curse, but saves it when he says Hua is the curse and he hates him, adding that he is only working with him because he's so humble. He keeps ordering more and more food, before getting full and deciding it's time to leave. He leaves and she is frustrated by the lack of intel she gathered and hands the owner the money for the food. Lan is back at the tent and decides to take a nap. Hua is still cultivating and gets tapped on the shoulder by Sheng, who greets him. Lan notices that she has approached Hua. They go for a walk together and she starts talking to him about the tournament, wondering if they are trying to break a curse with the spirit releasing seal. Hua notices what she's doing and ends the conversation before walking off. She is once again frustrated and walks away. Lan is looking from a distance. We see that Hua has decided to cultivate in a lake, and Lan is watching on. A bird poops on his nose, so he jumps into the water to wash it off. Lan gets closer to Hua but gets told to stay back. Lan starts investigating and wonders if Hua likes Sheng, adding that even though she is a member of the sacred domain, she is still beautiful. Hua assures him that he doesn't care about her. He says that Lan needs to keep his weak mind on winning the tournament. Lan gets annoyed again and jumps on him, but when he gets up, Hua is already fully dressed and out of the water. He walks away and tells him that losing the tournament isn't an option. This statement stuns Lan and he realizes he needs to stay focused. We then see the bear warrior and Sheng talking and they agree to keep a very close eye on Hua and Lan throughout the tournament. The next day it's the opening of the Three Domains tournament in the Holy City Arena. The head referee arrives and he is clearly not excited for the tournament. The announcer declares the round of 48 will begin. The first match is between two members of the Sacred Domain, and Hua and Lan. This interests the head referee as Hua and Lan are from different domains. The fight begins and they teams are seemingly evenly matched, failing to succeed with any attack on each other. But then Hua gets caught in a thorn attack and is stuck inside. Lan tries to put up a solo fight, but they then launch a large fiery rock down at Hua. which forces Lan to help him break free, and Hua manages to do it. The tide turns and Hua manages to trap one of the enemies by using one of Lan's skills. The other members charges at them, but Lan steps in and launches fireballs at him. Before launching a massive fireball attack at the final enemy, the announcer steps in and declares that Lan and Hua have won the match. They are walking back to the tent and Lan is lecturing him for using his skills, while once again tells him that winning is the priority and they should focus on being better teammates, as that match shouldn't have been as close. Lan agrees and they decide that they need to start practicing on their cooperation skills. We see them at the beach and they are practicing together. Before Hua starts chasing him around for the fun of it, we see the bear warrior watching on in his bear form. He tells Xing that they should just leave them alone as they are just two underdogs. The next day marks the second round of the doubles tournament. Hua wakes up Lan and tells him to get up. They are checking the leaderboard and realize that Shang and the bear warrior are one of the top competitors. This stuns Lan as he naively thought she was just a pretty girl. The announcer declares that Hua and Lan will be the first to fight again, and they will take on the foam twins of the blue domain. Lan is stunned because he knows how powerful they are and it's clear that he feels inferior. They start speaking simultaneously and ask Lan why he entered with someone from the magic domain. Lan tells them it's a long story. The fight commences. Lan starts by launching an Anemo attack, but the twins defend it perfectly. The twins then go into the sky together and come together to launch their ultimate skill, an Ultra Blast. Hua is trying his best to defend it, whilst Lan is asking him to buy time so he can launch an attack. Hua combines his body with his sword and breaks through the Ultra Blast, which amazes Lan. Lan joins the show and launches a water attack on them and traps them in a floating water ball. Lan then bursts the bubble and they fall to the ground, where Hua meets them with his sword. The announcer is stunned that 2 5th level people beat 2 6th level people, and then declares Lan and Hua the winners once again, and they advance through to the round of 12. The head referee is also confused by how they won and becomes suspicious. The twins later congratulate them on their victory. Lan's head drops when they tell him who else from the blue domain has arrived to fight. Lan and Hua are talking. Lan reveals that a man called Beiyu will be competing in the doubles tournament. He is the champion of the last 3 domains tournament and is called the Son of Darkness. Lan tells him that they have no chance of winning. Hua doesn't buy it and tells him to believe in himself, adding that their ancestors fought demons and orcs. They have no reason to doubt themselves. Lan and Hua keep practicing together, day after day, developing incredible teamwork. They go to check the people remaining in the tournament. Lan mocks Hua when he sees how deformed he looks on the board, but his jaw drops when realizing his face is also deformed and gets laughed at by everyone. The bear warrior is also laughing. Lan tells him to shut up. The bear warrior responds telling Lan that he'd better hope they don't match up because he will crush him. Lan mocks him and laughs at his suggestion. They turn back and see that Beiyu has arrived. Everyone is stunned by his presence and pay their respects, but Lan and Hua refuse to bow to him. They greet each other and Lan introduces him to Hua. Beiyu tells him to have faith, saying that he needs it to win, adding that the most powerful person he knows is the person who has the most faith. They then casually part ways. Hua mentions that the person he is talking about is from the magic domain and is his idol. It's time for the third round of the 3 domains tournament. The announcer declares that Beiyu and his teammate Liji will face off with the bear warrior and Sheng. Lan jumps on the chance to mock the bear warrior, saying that he has no chance of winning. The announcer declares the start of the fight. The bear warrior goes into his bear form and rises. He charges at Beiyu and Liji defends the attack. The bear warrior goes for another attack at Beiyu, who is just standing still, and the bear warrior randomly collapses before him in defeat. Xing decides to launch her own attack and fight back, covering Liji in flower petals. Liji breaks free and launches her own attack, which sends Xing to the floor in defeat. The announcer then declares that Beiyu and Liji have won. The head referee is stunned by how Beiyu didn't even throw a strike, and Lan is hyped up at how powerful they are even though they are competitors. Xing is devastated by the defeat and how quickly they lost. It's Lan and Hua's time to fight, and they are taking on the Tin Changers. The fight begins and they summon a heavenly wolf. Xing recognizes that the wolf has a heavenly bay on its back, which guides heavenly wolves to become unbelievably strong. The wolf charges at them, narrowly missing Hua with its claw. Hua meets the wolf in the air and gets smacked away by its claw. Lan arrives to catch him, but the wolf charges again and claws them both this time. They are seemingly defeated and their hands touch. We see them floating in another realm in front of the portal again, and their scars are being healed. They experience a deep connection and return to the physical realm. They launch a shield and block the wolf. Lan then goes into the air and launches an attack which sends the wolf to the ground. Hua then summons a warrior formation and launches an attack at the wolf, which sends it back to human form. Lan then launches a combination skill attack which takes out the other wolf. The Tin Changers embrace in defeat, and the announcer declares Lan and Hua have won. The head referee decides to confront Hua and Lan, and tells them that he is very suspicious by how they pulled that off. Admittedly hurt by how the Sacred Domain members were defeated, Lan and Hua ignore the accusations, and start resting by a tree. They discuss how they've realized that they need to use the Peerless Bead to win, understanding that the closer they are, the more powerful they can be. Nighttime arrives and Hua is practicing his cultivation. It's rainy, so Lan invites him into the tent. Hua proceeds with the cultivating and Lan continues to annoy him, teasing him with a chicken wing. Lan steps out into the storm and begs it to get stronger. He then starts trying to use heaven and earth to cultivate. He is struggling to hold on to the power of the storm and people suspect that he will explode. Hua notices him struggling and comes out. He puts his hand on his back and cultivates with him. But that's where this episode ends. Thanks for watching and I will see you next time.